Chat. Speaking of the NBA, let's do it. NBA needs to fix this problem. Jimmy High Roller. We ain't watch Jimmy on here in a minute. Let's do it. Jimmy, what does the NBA need to fix? Because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of problems in the NBA. What the fuck are we talking about today? Hella problems in the league, gang. What are we talking about? I'm not even reading the screen. What are we talking about? I'm trying to fix the audio. Spurs been insta bitching on each and every time, gang. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy we talking about that. Why are we not talking about James? I swear to on my mama, bro, I just seen James Harden averaging like what? Didn't James Harden drop like 50, early 50? What? Bro, James Harden just bro, and I was telling niggas when James Harden was in Philly. Bro, James Harden is still probably top 3 scorer in the league. So keep that bit on it. Top five. Keep that bit on it. Who scored better than Harden? Shea? Jokic? I'm not gonna lie, that Melo Legacy shit had me sad, chat.
Y'all got beef? I'm like, beef.
I tried to skip over that Melo Legacy
like,
shit.
We're out there competing, but beef.
Kevin Love, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Al Jefferson, Drew Gooden, Josh Smith, Tim Thomas, Antoine Walker, Lamar Odom, Jason Williams, Horace Grant.
I seen that bullshit.
The NBA season is in full swing, and it's about that time. We've got a new batch of hot takes to look at today. The good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious.
All the bullshit niggas want to say about Draymond still that nigga, gang.
Today's video is sponsored by Factors than
Let's do it.
Ready hydrates, Factor lasting UG cutting up and
fuck with that shit, Jimmy. Good eats.
Coming to in 1 year.
Good eats, Jimmy. You know what I'm saying, gang? Good eats, gang.
With 2025 coming to an end, it's probably a good time to look back on a great year of basketball. Fond memories and bright futures. But instead, we're gonna do the exact opposite and dive into some of the hottest NBA takes the internet has to offer. Beginning with this one that says the 2017 Cavaliers beat this year's Thunder. And this take just falls under the umbrella of X team from the past beats this year's Thunder, which is also just a subcategory of X player from the past is better than current SGA. The worst discourse in all of basketball at the moment. First, it was the Thunder aren't as good as the 2017 Warriors. Then it was they aren't better than the 2015 Warriors, and now they aren't better than the 2017 Cavaliers.
I don't know about 2017
I saw someone say
Cavs,
the Thunder wouldn't even beat the 2013 Pacers.
Why y'all doing this, gang? Bro, Shea averaged 30 fucking 3 a night. My nigga. How much points does Shea Gilgeous-Alexander average, gang? Why y'all act like Shea just some...
What? Can we just give it a rest?
Glaze,
I knew one day fans of 2010s basketball would eventually become the unks that downplay the pedigree of future players and teams, but
they don't beat the 2017 Cavs.
We are now the 90s old heads
LeBron,
we used to
Kyrie and them.
How quickly we
LeBron,
went
Kyrie
from
and
the
them
Thunder
tough.
are too inexperienced to the regular season doesn't
fuck
matter if
Shea?
you can't get it done in the playoffs to, well, they won, but they barely squeaked it out over a mid-Pacers team. What exactly do the Thunder have to do to be taken seriously? Not only
Thunder
are
got
they a
team
great
defense
team,
for Bron.
they do all the
They
things
can throw
we want
everybody at
great teams
Bron.
to do. They're
Lou
homegrown,
Dort,
they play awesome
Jalen
defense,
Williams,
they're tough and physical,
shut down
team-oriented
low.
ball, they don't rely on threes,
They
they're
got
deep,
rotation for Bron. Who
well-coached,
the fuck is
composed.
guarding
What
Shea?
other tests do they need to pass? I don't know who would win a matchup between the 2017 Cavs and this year's Thunder. That Cavs team was really good, and they did win one
Kyrie,
game in the finals against the greatest team of all time. But I do know that the Thunder have one of, if not the best defense in NBA history. They're 10 players deep. They have the reigning MVP, and they won an NBA championship.
That's what I'm
to say
saying.
the
Y'all niggas
2017
sleeping on the
Cavaliers
Thunder.
would give the best team in the league today
Belt.
belt to ass.
I was finna say Jimmy Belt. To say the 2017 Cavs would give him Belt. Now I know LeBron going for 50. LeBron going for 50. But why y'all acting like Shea not going for 50? I'm not saying Shea on LeBron level in any way. But Shea can score with any nigga in history.
Also
That's
saying
just a
the
proven fact,
2017 Cavaliers are far better than any team in the NBA today. And I just don't buy that.
Now,
I remember at the
as far
time
as
how
somebody
people
scoring
felt
with
about
Kyrie,
that Cavs
we
team,
done seen
how they had many
Jalen Williams score
flaws,
40
had
on the
an
highest
easy
level
run
too.
to the finals and were
done
carried
seen
by
that too.
LeBron. And as much as
We
I
done
wish
seen
it
it.
were true, prime LeBron does not conquer all. We have plenty of evidence for this.
Come on,
But
Jimmy,
this is
talk
just
to
the
me.
way things go. People fall in love with a certain era, usually the one they grew up with. Then in an attempt to preserve those memories,
Jimmy.
either completely rewrite or exaggerate what happened and tear down the new guys in the process.
Oh, my mama.
Do you know how many
Facts.
James Harden apologists have surfaced recently, praising
'Cause
his
they dumb
prime
as
years
hell.
and how unstoppable he was? And I agree. But these are the same people that hated his game when it was happening.
When they
Called
were
him
doing-
an
when they had to do
unethical,
this?
foul-baiting playoff choker. The only difference between being hated and being loved.
Hold up, Ad. Hold up, Ad. How long your ad running, gang?
Have surfaced recently, praising his prime years and how
Y'all still adding? Let's see here, wait. Let's see if they adding. They got them tweet, gang. Though I ain't gonna lie though. Why y'all be feeling the need to hate bad as fuck on our niggas like nowadays? But I'm out.
Yes. Do you know how
I
many
be like
James Harden
hating, like,
apologists
bad
have
on our
surfaced
niggas nowadays.
recently, praising his prime years and how unstoppable he was? And I agree. But these are the same people that hated his game when it was happening, called him an unethical,
That's what I'm
foul-baiting
saying.
playoff
They said
choker.
James Harden
The
was Shay. They was calling James Harden Shay. On my mama, they was
only
calling James
difference
Harden Shay.
between being hated and being loved is time. At the time, you know what people
James
said
Harden was
when
dead ass Shea back then.
73 win Warriors
Like, dead
lost
ass.
the championship in 2016? That they were frauds.
I ain't
They
go
weren't the
outside
thing
there,
if they don't
chat.
got that ring. As if because they lost in the finals, everything they did that season was in vain. Fast forward
I
10
didn't go
years,
outside.
and people are now using the 2016 Warriors as the gold standard of excellence. But the
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that, Curry. I didn't even realize that. Nigga. Bro, do you remember, gang, when we lost? And everybody in history was saying 73-9 with no ring to it? And now, y'all niggas want to say, this Thunder team win. No, don't use us. Y'all know we ass. Use them sorry ass niggas from the 90s. Do not use us as no golden standard.
Thunder
On
had
my
it
mama.
even worse.
Y'all was calling
Not
us
only
sorry.
did they win a championship, they've come into
not
the
use
season
us,
with one
gang.
of the most dominant stretches in
niggas
NBA
tweet.
history, and they are still being discredited in the most creative, disingenuous ways imaginable.
They was
and
calling
in
us
10
buns,
years,
gang.
I cannot wait to hear people say how incredible and historic
Niggas
and great the
tweet on my soul,
2025
gang.
Thunder
How
were,
we ain't win
despite
73
saying
fucking
none of those things right now. We must refrain from becoming the thing we despised and give credit where credit is due. I do not like the Thunder's antics just as much as the next guy, but it is okay
some
to
shit.
admit that they are a great team who could probably
Not
go
facts.
toe-to-toe with just about any team
Any
in
team
NBA
ever, though.
history.
I don't know
Our
about the
next
2017
take
Warriors,
says
though, gang.
James Harden is more influential than Steph Curry. And as blasphemous as this may
Jimmy, why is this in the video? Should I skip this segment? Jimmy, should we skip this segment?
sound, there is some truth here. Steph may have single-handedly changed the course of NBA
Talk to me,
history
Jimmy.
more than any other player. On a macro scale, Curry caused a shift.
Nah,
in the
I'm not gonna
entire
lie.
timeline
James
of
Harden got a whole new
basketball.
style of
But
basketball,
on a micro
though.
scale, when you look around the league
Foul
and
bait
the
and step
archetype
back in.
of players we see today, you're more likely to
see a James Harden
influences
type
of
play.
James Harden, for better or for worse. The step backs, the physicality, the crafty downhill scoring, the
facts.
ball-dominant combo guards, the way
That downhill, bruh. As much as y'all don't even think it would be James Harden get you up top key. Go right by your ass. Lay in one. I'm not gonna lie, James Harden
players
got
get
them.
their points. The foul
James Harden
baiting.
got
In a
them.
perfect world,
I'm not
everyone
gonna
would
lie, bro.
emulate what Steph does. But it's not a perfect world, and there's no one else on
We
the
gotta-
planet who
we
can
gotta
do
talk
what
about
Steph
James
does.
Harden, gang.
Harden's game, on the other hand, is
I need a ring.
replicable for a lot of
I
players.
need a ring,
and
James.
It's effective enough to convert those players into Harden's successors.
I need a
And
ring.
this is probably where the natural course of the game was going to inevitably lead, but it was Harden who really perfected this ISO-heavy, change of pace, triple threat style of play that we see.
Oh, yeah, all
littered
this high
throughout the
scoring
NBA
shit, that's
today.
James Harden,
In
gang.
fact, it's such a popular style that it has become essentially the default for most elite guards. Even from a historical perspective, Harden
Bro, I'm
is
not
one
gonna
of the
lie, everybody
handful
plays
of
like
players
James Harden.
that changed
Every
the
shooting guard in the league
actual
plays like
rules
James
of the
Harden.
game and continues to have his tactics used by the league's best players.
Every
But Steph
shooting guard
Curry
damn
is
near
a
ISO like
singularity.
James Harden.
He didn't just change the way players
Jalen
play.
Brown? That nigga played just like James Harden. I'm gonna get him.
Game, he changed the game itself. Not
Jaylen
just
Brown
with
played
his
just
three-point
like
shooting,
Harden, gang.
but with his emphasis on off-ball movement, his gravity from 35 feet out, and his demonstration
Like,
as a
bro,
smaller
a
guard
lot of
being
niggas
the
hoop
best
just
player
like
on a
that nigga.
championship-winning team. And his influence will be felt long after he retires. James Harden did change the game, but Steph Curry may be the biggest game changer in basketball
Yeah.
history. Now, this next take comes from Nick Wright, and it's an approach on the
Because for
GOAT
James Harden to
debate
even be
that I've
doing
never
that,
heard of
Steph had
before.
to do what he did.
So I have a theory. If Jordan never existed and the universally accepted greatest player of all time was Kareem, because that's who it would have been, a guy like Tim Duncan would be in the GOAT debate.
I mean, I guess Kobe doesn't do what he does because Jordan never existed, I guess. I like Kobe over Kareem, nigga. I think it would have been Kobe, gang. But let me start him
Steph
over.
Curry may be the biggest
Let me
game
start him
changer
over. I
in
guess it would've been
basketball
Kareem.
history. Now, this
I guess
next
so.
take comes from Nick Wright, and it's an approach on the GOAT debate that I've never heard of before.
So I have a theory. If Jordan never existed and the universally accepted greatest player of all time was Kareem, because that's who it would have been, a guy like Tim Duncan would be in the GOAT debate. What people turned the GOAT debate into was not who's the greatest player ever, it's who reminds me of Michael Jordan the most, which is why Kobe is probably a touch.
That's not fucking true, gang. LeBron don't remind nobody of motherfucking Michael Jordan, gang. I'm finna kill this take right now, gang. I'm gonna keep that bitch so real, gang. This nigga talking out his ass, gang. What does LeBron do like Michael Jordan? Who is even in the GOAT debate? Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. Right? Kareem, yeah. Bro, what the fuck does any of them niggas do like Jordan other than Kobe? Bro, he not lying because I always felt this way about Tim on my Mount Rushmore, Kobe too, but he don't got the same respect with more rings. That shit is so true because I feel the same way about Jokic. He literally one of the greatest niggas ever, but I don't feel like he get the respect he deserve for real without it. Bro, if Jokic wins 2-3 more rings, he's gonna be the greatest player ever. If Jokic has one fucking ring, why would he get any respect right now? Jokic won't get. Jokic is a great ass player. Jokic probably top 25 greatest, top 50 greatest players ever. But what respect does Jokic need? Jordan better than every nigga ever. If you want to be a GOAT, you gotta be transcending in some way. Tim Duncan was transcending, but Tim Duncan was also in the perfect fucking system his whole career, gang. Was Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan was never in the perfect system his whole career. Chicago was ass without Jordan, and when they had Jordan, they was tough. When they lost Jordan, they was ass. LA had Kareem, they was tough. They lost Kareem. They picked up Shaq and Kobe, they went crazy. When they just had Kobe, they was doing their thing with Powell. When Kobe got old, they was ass. They picked up Braun, they went crazy. So the Lakers had stints where they were ass. I feel like Tim Duncan was literally on the perfect franchise his whole career. Who is really even in the GOAT debate? Kareem? Kareem was on the same type of team as Kobe. Kareem was in the same position as Kobe. The Lakers had Magic. His last ring. Did his thing, had all them points. Kobe got hella points too. Kobe got 5 rings at MVP. Tim Duncan, got 2 MVPs, 5 rings? How many MVPs Tim Duncan got? 2 MVPs, 5 rings? If Tim Duncan got 3 rings, then if Tim Duncan had 3 MVPs, he would be the best player of all time. He got 2 MVPs though. That's what I'm saying. He don't got 3 MVPs. 2 MVPs, 5 rings. He's in that top 5. He's in that top 8. But no way Tim Duncan is the greatest nigga ever. Like, what do we know? What do we know? What are we talking about? How would Tim Duncan be the greatest player ever when he never scored like 70 fucking points in a game, nigga? He never scored 80 fucking 1. I'm not saying a lot of shit like averaging 27 a game matter, averaging 30 a game matter, but his highest points per game ever was 25. And that is amazing now. 25 is tough. But come on, bro. What? Let him talk. That's not what he's trying to say. What are you trying to say? He said if there was no Jordan
Be the biggest game changer in basketball
and
history.
Kareem,
Now, this
I don't even think Kareem would be the best player ever if there was no Jordan. It would probably be Magic Johnson. It probably wouldn't even be Kareem. I don't think no center get... Bro, basketball done evolutionized so much to guard play, we would never look at no center as the best player ever.
Next take comes from Nick Wright, and it's an approach
The
on
nigga
GOAT
that's
debate
doing the hook
that
shot
I've never
all
heard
game
before.
would be the best player
So I
ever.
have a theory.
Man, y'all
If
niggas out of
Jordan
y'all damn
never
mind.
existed, and the greatest
That's not the
player,
best
universally
basketball
accepted greatest
player
of all
ever.
time was
I love
'cause That's who
Kareem.
it would have been. A guy like Tim Duncan would be in the GOAT debate. What people turned the GOAT debate into was not who's the greatest player ever.
We turned
it's
it to
who
guards.
Reminds me of Michael Jordan.
We turned it to guards.
Which is why
Because that's
Kobe
what dominates
is
the
probably
league.
a touch historically overrated because he is the most similar to Michael Jordan.
Right.
But because Mike was considered the GOAT, people elevated Kobe past a guy like Tim Duncan, who was just objectively better than him. Instead of the question being who's the greatest basketball player of all time, people asked that question, but what they were really asking is who's the most similar to Michael Jordan, and those are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Nick is 100% right here.
The guards, I get what he's saying. Because it would have always been a big dominant league, right? That's what he's saying. The GOAT debate changed from Kareem, the big men, to guards because of high-flying guards came and took over the league, right? That's basically what he's saying. Because of Jordan, right? Because high-flying guards like Kobe, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Clyde Drexler, right? All those niggas came. Nah, because this nigga is talking shit about Kobe. I don't give a fuck what Jimmy High finna say. You're not finna disrespect fucking Kobe? He's saying Kobe's a little bit overrated. How about we put Kobe Bryant fucking next to Tim Duncan? Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? How about we put Kobe next to... Kobe's played in Tim Duncan's conference. Because it's the play. He's saying how niggas look at the play. That's what I'm saying. How niggas look at the play nowadays has changed from high-flying... It was always going to be a shift, though, because niggas got athletic. There was going to always be a Michael Jordan that hit the league. That's what niggas not understanding. Y'all think there was never going to be a high-flying guard that changed how niggas played? Y'all don't think Vince Carter jumps high? Y'all think Vince Carter would have just been a 6'6" power forward like Charles Barkley? Y'all don't think nobody ever would have tried to think out the box and tried to dunk on niggas from the free throw line and shit like that if there was no Michael Jordan? And even F still, y'all don't think a Steph Curry would have came along? Y'all think basketball would have always stayed as a big man sport? Because if you're saying Kareem would have been the GOAT if Jordan never came, then we're diminishing, okay, this is how this would have went. If Jordan never came, that's what he's saying. Because Kobe took after Jordan. You know how many niggas took after Jordan, though? Not just Kobe. Kobe, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, all of the Dwayne Wade, all of those niggas that came in 2000, 2003, 1998, 1997, 1996, all of those niggas gone. Tough ass guards. All of those niggas. We just having Tim Duncan type big men all year. Shaq, Tim Duncan. Shaq would have been better than Tim Duncan. Shaq's better than Tim Duncan. I like Shaq over Tim Duncan. Shaq is the most dominant center ever. What are we talking about, gang? Is Shaq not over Tim Duncan? What about Shaq? Where did Shaq go in this debate? Where did Shaq go? I thought Shaq was the most dominant nigga ever, gang. Is Shaq not the most dominant nigga ever? Sure, Tim Duncan got the rings, but why does this ring shit gotta goddamn... Why do we take this ring shit so far? We taking the ring shit a little bit too far, gang. I need a nigga that was going. Shaq, more points, more rebounds. Tim Duncan got the assist. Damn near same field. Shaq got the field goal. Both Hall of Fame. Tim Duncan got one more championship. Bruh, both got the same finals MVPs. They got the same amount of finals MVPs. He got one. I'm going to keep that bit 100, gang. Like, bruh. What are we on, gang? Is Shaq not
From Nick Wright, and it's an approach on the GOAT debate that I've
How
never
do we
heard of
diminish-
before.
So I have a theory.
How do we take all the guards out of? No, I can't get with this because there's more than just one GOAT that was up there after Jordan, fam. That took after Jordan.
It's who. Instead, what they
He's 100% right here. Michael Jordan was such an overwhelmingly dominant and popular player that once it was established that he was the GOAT, the goalpost shifted to who is the closest thing to Jordan competition. Even things like what the greatest player should look like or what their role on the court should be changed because of Jordan. MJ was many things, but first and foremost, he was a scorer. And so scoring became the overwhelmingly largest indicator of greatness. How a player moves, Jordan was graceful and explosive, and so the next guy must also move like a cat and jump out of the gym. It wasn't who's the next great player, it was literally who's the next Michael Jordan. And of course that player was Kobe Bryant. Many fans will even use the logic of if MJ's the GOAT and Kobe's the closest thing to MJ, then he must be the second greatest player of all time. And although I have Kobe higher all time than a lot of fans, I do think this approach has plagued and hurt these conversations for decades.
But that's a
now.
casual
Despite
take,
Tim
though.
Duncan's incredible impact throughout his career,
If you're
the
saying
fact
that
he
you don't
looked,
actually know
acted,
who the
and
fuck
played
Kobe Bryant
nothing
is,
like MJ certainly did
you ain't
not
watch
help his
Kobe.
GOAT case. I think we're seeing this same issue with Nikola Jokic right now. Because his game isn't super flashy, he doesn't play above the rim, and he doesn't look like an ultra-elite, world-breaking basketball player, some fans just dismiss the fact that he is one of the greatest players the game has ever seen. When Jordan retired, he wasn't just the GOAT, he was the blueprint. And if you weren't built from the same design, you were inherently penalized for it. However, as time goes along and the average basketball fan becomes removed from the days of MJ's cultural gravity, I do think we are moving away from this way of thinking. Impact and greatness
Bro,
comes
y'all
in
getting
many
this shit
different
twisted,
shapes.
bro. I'm listening, Jimmy, but y'all are getting this shit twisted, gang. Y'all are getting this shit way too twisted. Because, bro, is the best basketball player ever not a nigga that can score 30, guard you like this, block your shit, dunk on you, shoot a step back game winner, run fast. Bro, that's the best basketball player. Not no. And that's the crazy thing. All that shit I just did. And that's the crazy thing. Everything I just did, Michael Jordan can do. Tim a power forward? I know. He played power forward center. There's no positions in basketball. Everything that Tim Duncan can do on the block, Michael Jordan can do. LeBron can do. They're just not 6'10". They don't have to do it all game. They have other facets of their game. All of the niggas that came after that shit are way more complete players, bruh. What are we talking about? The blueprint of the best player ever changed? It was always going to change. Even if, bro, Tim Duncan was going to move down regardless. Even if Kareem stayed as the, even if no Michael Jordan came, niggas would have got athletic. There was no stopping niggas from getting athletic. Tracy McGrady never plays if Michael Jordan don't touch the court. If Michael Jordan never plays, Clyde Drexler doesn't hoop. Like, bro, what are we talking about? There was going to be another dominant-ass guard. There was going to be another 6'6" nigga that learned how to fucking dunk and shit, bro. There was no... It was going to be another 6'6" nigga that thought outside the box. That dominated the league. Like Kobe did. Kobe probably would have did that shit his motherfucking self. If no Michael Jordan came, Kobe probably would have just did what he did and was the goal. I'm going to keep it on it. where LeBron would have just been flat out the GOAT. Because you're not telling me LeBron at 6'8", as big as LeBron can move, would have just said, I'm gonna sit in the post and play all game. How about we ask LeBron this question himself? LeBron would not have sat on the block his whole career. Y'all think LeBron James, as big as he was built, would have looked up to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and said, I want to play on the block my whole career? As athletic as he fucking is. Or he would have probably just went and played tight end for the damn Los Angeles Rams. Like, let's be fucking for real, gang. He would not have played like no power forward, bro. Everybody was gonna eventually fall in love with athletic ass players, bro. And athletic niggas came, bro. Niggas got athletic. There was a whole swoop of them, gang. It wasn't just Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just the only nigga that went crazy. How about we talk about Dominique Wilkins? Dominique Wilkins probably. What if Dominique Wilkins was on the Bulls with fucking Kareem, with Scottie Pippen? What about Scottie Pippen? The athletic niggas came. Sean Kemp. The whole 90s was a fucking swole of fucking athletic ass niggas. Tim Duncan was just an outlier throughout the fucking 2000s of big men that was the best of their time because if he had Manu, Tony, he didn't even win all his finals MVPs. He had Manu, Tony, all them niggas next to him. That's why Tim Duncan not the best ever. He had the best team ever. Did he win a ring with Kawhi fucking Leonard? Bro, y'all niggas gotta come on, bro. Did he have the greatest coach ever? Bro, y'all come on, bro. We gotta come on, bro. Tim Duncan's that nigga, and I'm not trying to discredit Tim Duncan, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, okay, we would have still had big men as the greatest players ever because of, even if Michael Jordan didn't come. I don't believe that because I don't think Vince Carter, T-Mac, Drexler, Dominique Wilkins, Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, all of those niggas say, damn, we athletic as fuck at 6'8", 6'7", and bruh. But we low-key need to be on the block the whole game like Kareem. Back to the basket type shit. The 3 ball was relevant, bruh. Niggas learned how to dribble game. Y'all don't think...
Forms. And although Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all
And the thing about Jokic is, Jokic just ain't did enough yet. If y'all give Jokic time, he'll be the greatest ever.
time, you don't have to
Look at Luka.
resemble him or his game.
We don't give a fuck about that shit.
This is a great take.
If you're transcending, you're gonna be the GOAT.
A disgruntled NBA viewer.
We got a lot of transcending players in the league now because they're so different.
And
that's the theme of the league now. Be different. Be Giannis, long ass nigga that can just dunk from wherever, be running dunk man. Luka, just make magical shots. Be the fucking most crazy nigga ever. Shea, foul bait, score, do your shit. Jokic, be out of shape, but not really be out of shape and still give niggas buck. That's the transcendent thing today. Michael Jordan's era was gonna come. Kareem era was gonna come. There's always gonna be outliers. Tim Duncan just literally did not do enough.
Could not agree more. Watching the end of tight games these days is a special kind of torture. They
Kareem
say time
ain't doing
travel
enough.
isn't possible, but
He said it turned into Michael Jordan scoring. How many points does Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got? Was he known as a scorer? Kareem was a scorer. Tim Duncan ain't never touched 34. It was always gonna be niggas that can score. And the niggas that can score turn into guards. Y'all don't...
NBA teams managed to turn 30
It was
seconds
always gonna
into
turn into
20
a guard
freaking
league,
minutes.
gang.
And the worst part is, the only time this strategy
It was
is
always
used
gonna
is
turn into a
during
guard
good,
league.
close games.
That's the best
Absolutely
players,
butchering
gang.
all the excitement of the
Players
moment.
that can
In the
play
OKC
defense,
Spurs matchup a couple
shoot,
weeks ago,
dunk,
the
all that.
last
Those are the
10
best players.
seconds
Jason
of
Tatum,
game time
shit like that.
lasted nearly
That's why I
12
say,
minutes.
if Jason Tatum played like LeBron, he would be the best player ever.
This was a great game for 46
Wemby, though,
minutes with what
now-
could have been an exciting ending.
Y'all don't think
passed
Wemby
away
could be the best
with
player ever?
timeouts, commercial breaks, and free throws.
'Cause of-
And
'cause
right
of
when
Michael
you think
Jordan?
the bid is up and teams are going to stop intentionally fouling each other and let the clock
'Cause he
run
don't look
out,
like Michael
they
Jordan.
inexplicably foul again, and now you're
Kevin
stuck watching
Durant,
another
if Kevin
Wingstop
Durant won all his
ad.
rings by himself.
Look at the play-by-play of the final 25 seconds of this
None of
game.
them niggas look
What
like
have
Michael
they
Jordan.
done to the game
They just
I love?
scored. That's what
20
the best
fouls,
players do.
24 subs, and not a single lead
I
change
know, I
to
can't
show
get over
for
that
it.
take, bro. I can't-
Intentionally
that's
fouling
the
late
worst
in
take in
games
the
has
video.
always been a thing, but it
The
wasn't
best
until
players
fairly
ever do
recently when
scoring.
teams started
They
regularly
score.
fouling while
They don't
up
look
3,
like big men,
attempting to
bro.
preserve their lead. So now instead of one team fouling and the other team trying to avoid
They
it by
score,
playing
they play
sound,
defense, they
disciplined
guard all
defense, both teams
facets
are
of
out
the
there
game
just
like
chasing
LeBron,
each other
man.
around getting fouls.
LeBron
Now,
is the
this
blueprint
shouldn't
actually
be a
of the best player ever, and I'm gonna keep it 100. And I didn't even want to say that. LeBron just has honestly not won enough at the highest level to be the best player ever, like clearly flat out. But LeBron is actually the blueprint of the best player ever, and that's not who Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan is 6'6". Michael Jordan just honestly probably put a tad more effort on defense throughout his whole career. LeBron played defense in Cleveland and Miami early in his career. But LeBron kind of, slacked off. But for the most part, LeBron played defense. But LeBron is the blueprint for best player ever. If we really want to go there, then why the fuck are we saying if Michael Jordan didn't come? If LeBron didn't, I mean, it definitely changed with Jordan because he took Kareem reign, but that was going to happen. LeBron James came, Kobe Bryant came. How do them niggas not come? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do them niggas just play football or some shit? That's how I feel like that take just gets killed. Because do them niggas say they don't want to play basketball no more? They say they want to play baseball? They say they don't want to dunk no more? They say we're so athletic and can shoot and do all this freak shit with our body in the air, 360 windmill, but I'm going to play on the block because I'm tall. Like Charles Barkley.
Hot take, at least I don't think it should, but there are still a lot of fans who believe this is a legitimate strategy that shouldn't take a backseat to our viewing experience. That the priority of these
can't get
teams
with
is
that
to
one.
win, not consider how entertaining it is for those watching. And this is a legitimate
Y'all stay
strategy,
trying to
and I
push
do
Tim
agree to
Duncan
an
up.
extent. But that extent
That nigga
came and went a
definitely
long
hoop,
time
gang.
ago.
He top-
Winning
he
has
top seven.
always been
He
a
top
priority
8.
in the NBA, and
That
that
shit
has
is
never
high
stopped
enough.
the end of games from
Where
being
the fuck is
entertaining
Steph Curry,
before.
man?
A lot of people don't think this is a problem that needs to be fixed.
Steph Curry
But
don't
if
resemble
we
Michael
were
Jordan
trying
at
to fix
all.
this issue, some plausible solutions may be once the clock reaches a certain point, say 1 minute left, the team getting fouled gets one
That's what
free
y'all
throw
saying? He
and
don't look like
possession.
Michael Jordan, so he
Another
can't be up there?
suggestion some fans have made is 3 free throws on any intentional
No,
fouls
Michael
committed
Jordan just
beyond the
levels
3-point
ahead of
line
niggas,
within
bro.
the final
That's-
minute of
that's
game
what it
time.
takes to be
But
the best
virtually
ever,
every
gang.
possible solution offered up inherently penalizes the team with the lead. So it doesn't look like this
LeBron
strategy
type
will be
of build,
going
gang.
anywhere anytime soon. You don't see this tactic play out in every close game, but when you do, get comfortable, buddy, because you're about to witness a 30-minute ad break with some occasional free throws. This is a great take, but let me know what you think. Share your hot takes in the comments below.
I don't even know
And
what that
as
last take
always,
was, gang.
the hotter, the better.
Because that hot take right there was a kind of, I feel like we kick a lot of great players out just because we were saying this is the GOAT before Michael Jordan.